let's set the record straight. Clemson has by no means fallen off. Sure, the Tigers have missed the college football playoff each of the last 2 years, but each of the last 2 years, the Tigers are combined 21-6. That is back-to-back double-digit win seasons with an ACC championship last year and an Orange Bowl berth last year. That is better than a whole lot of teams across the country. So the Tigers are fine, but they do need to get back to the college football playoff, and they do need to be careful because the ACC is getting better all around them. And this is the conference that now has gone away with divisions. So the Tigers are no longer alone at the top of the conference. They have to be mindful. They do need some help. They do need to make some changes. And that might all start on the offensive side of the ball. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. Today, breaking down Clemson's offense. Can they get things going with a new quarterback and a new coordinator? We're going to give you that answer today. So glad you could join us, though. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below, including our official website, thegridironexpert.com. Because again, guys, here at the Gridiron Expert, college football never dies. The season never ends. We do not stop here at the Gridiron Expert. We are going 24/7, 365. We do not sleep. We do not rest. We are talking college football with you all the time, and we want you to become a part of that. We want you to take advantage of that. We want you to become a part of our GE Nation, something special that is growing right here at the channel. You can do that by liking. You can do that by subscribing. You can do that by hitting that notification button so you don't miss out on any of our future content going forward from now all the way until the end of the season. So let's take a look at Clemson here. Again, Tiger fans were so used to just winning the ACC title and going to the playoff. It was a routine. And then, once Trevor Lawrence left, it all kind of fell apart. 21-6 the last 2 years. Still won the ACC championship last year. The Tigers have played for the ACC title in 7 of the last 8 years. The only year they missed was in 2021. They still won 10 games that season. But they need some help offensively. A major reason for the Tigers' struggles these last 2 years has been because their offense was not like it has been every year before that. Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, Taj Boyd, all those great quarterbacks that came through Clemson. Then you hit DJ Uiagalelei, who was supposed to be great, and it just didn't pan out. You look at the numbers. In 2021, Clemson averaged 26.3 points per game. That was just 82nd in the country. The defense, phenomenal. Ranked second in the nation, only giving up 14.8 points per game. But DJ Uiagalelei in 2021 only threw for over 2,200 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. More picks than he had touchdowns. 2022, a lot of people thought that the Clemson offense would be drastically better, and to an extent, it was. They were a full touchdown better, averaging 33.2 points per game, which was 30th in the country instead of 82nd in the country. The defense, still solid, allowing less than 21 points per game, which was good for 22nd in the nation. But DJ Uiagalelei didn't take that major leap forward. He threw for over 2,500 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. So better than he was in 2021, but not exactly where the Tigers needed to be. His backup, Cade Klubnik, well, that was the guy that Clemson fans were wanting in all year long. He threw for 697 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks on the year. But the little bits that we saw from Cade Klubnik last year, well, they were pretty promising. ACC championship game. 20 for 24, 279 yards, and a touchdown against North Carolina in that blowout over the Tar Heels. And then Klubnik got the start over Tennessee in the Orange Bowl, went 30 for 54 for 320 yards, 2 interceptions, but did have a rushing touchdown in that loss to the Volunteers. Now it is the Cade Klubnik show, right? DJ Uiagalelei didn't pan out. Dabo Swinney was trying to do everything he could to stay loyal to him and keep him going, but the marriage was never going to work. DJ Uiagalelei is now going to be the starter at Oregon State. He transferred out to Corvallis. It worked out great, and now Klubnik is in. Young QB that has a lot of potential, but needs some work and development. And Clemson made a phenomenal hire, one of the biggest hires of this offseason, bringing in new offensive coordinator Garrett Riley from TCU. Phenomenal hire. Yeah, Garrett Riley was at TCU last year when the Horned Frogs somehow made a run all the way to the national championship game. Riley was the Broyles Award winner from last year that goes to the nation's top assistant coach. He led Max Duggan of TCU to become a Heisman finalist after he threw for over 3,600 yards, 32 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions, and also had over 400 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns, so 41 total touchdowns for Duggan. And TCU last year had the 9th ranked offense in the country, averaging 38.8 points per game, got them all the way to the national championship game where they fell short against Georgia. And their offense didn't look great there, but not many offenses did against that Georgia defense. So a phenomenal hire by Dabo Swinney to bring in Garrett Riley from TCU to come in and develop a very highly touted quarterback and a guy that could get Clemson back to the college football playoff. Because you look at Cade Klubnik, a lot of potential. He's got a great arm. He's pretty accurate from what we've seen. What we've seen in practices and when he's played well, like he did against North Carolina, not so much against Tennessee. But we know he's got a good arm. We know he's accurate. We know he can make good decisions. And we know he can be mobile as well. He does have that mobility, which will be tough to stop from time to time. You look at the rest of the Clemson offense. They got Klubnik under center this year. You have Will Shipley coming back at running back after rushing for over 1,100 yards and 15 touchdowns last year. So the whole pressure won't just be on Klubnik. It's not going to be an air raid attack, right? They've got a great running back that they relied on a lot last year to kind of help take the load off of the young quarterback, at least at first. The question, though, is what kind of weapons will Klubnik have? That's what you have to ask yourself. Who's going to be the top wide receivers? Is it going to be Antonio Williams? Is it going to be Bo Collins? Is it going to be Noble Johnson, a newcomer? You know, from a program that had so many great wide receivers come through here in recent years, Clemson really hasn't had that the last few years. Again, contributing to offensive success. They haven't had great quarterback play like they had those previous years. Haven't had great wide receiver play like they had in those previous years. But Riley's going to come in, and he's going to drastically transform this offense. They're going to be faster. They're going to be more up-tempo. They're certainly going to be more explosive. They're going to certainly be more dangerous. But the question is that going to be enough? You know, the last 2 years, Clemson has won 21 games with a mediocre offense. The defense is what's kind of bailed them out. I mean, the second-rate defense in 2021, a top 25 defense again in 2022. Defense coming through clutch and making big play after big play after big play. You combine the two like they did for so many years, that was what was winning Clemson titles. That was what was getting them to the playoff. This year, you hope that's the case with the offense. You hope that's the case with the defense, but the ACC is getting better. So is Clemson really still the best team in the ACC? I mean, technically, yes, right now they are the reigning champions. But teams like Florida State are on the rise. Miami could be bouncing back with Mario Cristobal. North Carolina won the Coastal last year. Divisions are gone now, but won the Coastal, have one of the better quarterbacks in the country in Drake May. Clemson is not alone at the top. And you take a look at their schedule, they do have some tough games in there. They have to go to Duke in the season opener, a Duke team that won 9 games last year, cannot afford to overlook the Blue Devils. They are fortunate enough to host the biggest games in Death Valley. They get to host Florida State. That's huge. They beat the Seminoles last year on the road, 34-28. They get to host Notre Dame, not a conference game, but still a big team and a big game. They could have playoff implications. They get to host North Carolina. So arguably the 3 biggest games on Clemson's schedule, they get to host in Death Valley. They do travel to Miami. Can't afford to overlook them, but Clemson has had tremendous success against the Hurricanes in recent years. You again look at Florida State. That is their biggest threat. A team that went 10-3 last year, a team that returns practically everybody on defense, returns a potential Heisman candidate in Jordan Travis. They're going to be the team that gives Clemson the biggest test, and it could be the first of 2 meetings. Those 2 teams very well could meet again in the ACC championship game. Florida State, Miami, North Carolina, maybe Duke. I mean, who knows? It's a pretty interesting ACC. They're all improving around the Tigers. And the offense for Clemson is certainly improving. But will that be enough to help them win their 2nd straight ACC title? Will it be enough to help them get back to the college football playoff? The Tigers have by no means fallen off, but they are certainly under a little bit more pressure than they have been in recent years. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at The Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including our website, thegridironexpert.com, because again, guys, here at The Gridiron Expert, college football never dies. The season never ends, and we want you to become a part of our GE Nation, become a part of something special that we're building right here at the channel. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.